Adjusting to, post-ostomy life, I spent a couple days in the hospital. I think I was there for like 5-6 days. I, of course, just had this life-changing surgery. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was very scared. I still felt completely on my own. And, I just wanted to return to any type of normalcy.
I was so scared. Honestly, learning my ostomy was the easy part. The mental health and the wound care was, it was a few months of intense wound care that I never thought I'd have to do. I thought as soon as the staples came out of my scar, I'd be good to go. And I just have to kind of learn how to use an ostomy bag.
Recovery was a little bit difficult for me in the beginning. I had some complications and ended up needing 4 more surgeries. I'd gone into my ileostomy so sick that my intestines had a bit of a tough time adjusting.
When I was recovering after ostomy surgery, the mental and the emotional part of it was pretty easy for me because I had already seen it coming. I had scheduled my ostomy surgery. I knew what was going to happen. I was prepared for what was going to happen mentally and emotionally. And I think the preparation really gave me a leg up when it came to this life-changing, life-saving surgery that I had.
I was just 3 years old when I had ostomy surgery, so I really have to give a big recognition to my parents, because one thing that they did growing up was give me a normal life. They let me go outside and play. They let me go to the playground and go down the sliding board. They were there, right? But they just still also gave me that freedom. As a child, of course, parents gonna protect you. But growing up, preteen, a teenager, they just gave me my freedom. And I think that's what helped me throughout my adult life, that freedom of, okay, let her do, let her be, let her live, let her live her life.
Almost immediately after surgery, I realized I had some limitations, and I gave myself 1 year. It was 1 year for everything. I decided I had 1 year to learn to love myself again because it was a big change to my body. I had 1 year to get used to bag changes and 1 year to be adjusted to life and work and everything. And nothing ended up taking a year. Just being very patient with my new body and healing was really helpful to me.
I wanted to get back to school. I wanted to get back to, hanging out with my friends, doing sleepovers, doing all that fun teenage stuff. Slowly, I did. You cannot push yourself. You need to, of course, give yourself the time you need to, heal and adjust.
After my surgery, my body actually drastically changed in a good way. It was the first time, I just looked naturally thin. It was the first time in my life. I don't know, I just felt like my torso had a regular shape to it as a grown man, And so that kind of made me excited. I was like, I've got this brand new body. So it went from this extreme of what is happening to me to then this is a chance for me to start over. This is a chance with a brand new body, new experiences. And I kind of just went that way with my mind. I said, I get to start over. I'm alive. I get to keep going. And I got so excited with that brand new body that I just learned to love it and accept myself and realize that I'm good and I'm healthy and this is how I get to be for the rest of my life.
When I left the hospital, and I think many people will get the same advice from their clinicians. You're told to, try to work back into physical activity, starting with walking. One of the first real walks where I went out on a hiking trail, I think a couple-mile walk. But for me, it was a pretty big step up from, the laps around the hospital lobby that I had done previously.
I was able to focus more on the physical aspect of recovery, the mental and the emotional parts, especially when I did have ulcerative colitis and I also had C. diff, I couldn't leave the house. I had anxiety. So with this surgery, it actually cured me of that anxiety and depression. Really, the mental and the emotional part of it was cured along with my ulcerative colitis when I had the surgery.
slowly. You have to, of course, reward yourself and be proud of yourself for the small milestones you do, like, getting out of bed the first time, going for a walk outside, even going in a car ride and all of that. There should be no rush to, rush through it. It is a very, intense, invasive surgery, and you need to give yourself that time. Everybody's journey will be different. We're all gonna adapt at different timelines based on what we've gone through and everything. Make yourself maybe like a list of, the first things that you want to do now, like with your ostomy, and work through them slowly at your own pace.